What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Thursday to y'all, Friday Junior for some of y'all. Hey, some of y'all already off work. Some of y'all about to enjoy Thirsty Thursday tonight. I know you. I'm talking to you, Jimmy. Because if you get in trouble with corporate again, I can't save you. So stop it. Take an Uber home. But guys, hope you were having a fantastic Thursday. Hope everything is going smooth for you. Hope your work week has been going smooth. Your class week if you're in school and doing summer classes and everything in between. And guys, we are going to get into today's docket, and a few things have come across my ledger. A few things have come across the scours of the internet. So you will. And first thing came from ESPN's Get Up. And apparently, they had some choice words for our boy Bryce Young. They had some choice words about our boy Bryce. And this morning, they were talking about quarterbacks in the league, more of the younger quarterbacks, probably like 2 years in, what they're going to do in that next step of their career. And obviously, Bryce Young came up in conversation. So, first things first, in the segment, it was right after they talked about Trevor Lawrence. They asked Dan Orlovsky, what are his thoughts about Bryce Young going into this season? And here's what Dan had to say. What happens if he's great? Then we have a whole new situation going on, not only in that division, but in the NFC. If you go back to the end of last season, one team really pushed both Super Bowl contenders to the brink in games. It was the Carolina Panthers pushing Philly, and it was the Carolina Panthers pushing the Kansas City Chiefs, in part because of the play of Bryce Young. Two really talented, big physical receivers on the outside in Xavier Legette and Ted McMillan, their rookie out of Arizona. Can Bryce use the back end of last season to really springboard under Dave Canales? I think they're going to have one of the better and most dominant offensive lines in run game in the NFL. Plenty of people to throw the football right now. What happens if Bryce actually is the first pick overall talent? Carolina's going to be a rocket ship.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
And y'all, here's the crazy part. It was followed up by Jeremy Fowler, who said this about Bryce, because they asked, all right, Jeremy, what are your thoughts? Here's what Jeremy Fowler had to say. Jeremy Fowler flat out said to start off, I got Bryce as a sneaky 4,000-yard passer this year. Assuming Carolina gets that running game going like they plan to, then the throwing windows will be there and Young will deliver. He's got a ceiling. The size is an issue. I hate to deduce it to that. But when I look at my top 10 list, all those quarterbacks are bigger than him. The top 8 are a lot bigger than him. So how far can he take it is my question. But the confidence was at an ultra high late in the year. Dave Canales sensed that, so they're going to keep giving him more and more throws.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Hey! Wait a minute. Did I just read that correctly? Did I watch that video correctly? You mean to tell me ESPN had a segment on national television where multiple people, Damian Woody also co-signed on this, where every panel actually praised and gave positive reviews to Bryce Young? Huh? I feel like I'm being tricked. I feel like they trying to trick me. I feel like they trying to. Now, Dan Orlovsky's been praising Bryce Young. I'll give Dan credit where credit is due. Dan has been one of them ones, and hey, he's welcome in Panther Nation. I don't care what y'all say. I'm giving him the pass. He's my +1. I'll let him in because he has been co-signing on Bryce since the end of last year and everything when everybody said no. But the fact that all of them said, yo, Bryce is it. Bryce can be that guy. And then not only that, they all praise the receiving core going into this season. They praise the offensive line going into this season. Y'all, I don't know what was on Get Up this morning or what they had to drink in the coffee. I don't know what it was. However, I think they were smart.
Message.
I think they were smart. Bryce being a sneaky 40,000-yard passer, I thought that was honestly shocking for somebody to say publicly on national television. I'm going to be honest with you. I know we've had these conversations. I know we've talked about it. But I hadn't heard anybody on ESPN, on any of their shows, come out and blatantly say, yeah, Bryce can throw for 4,000 bands this year. Y'all show me a clip where they've been doing that. Put the link in the comment if you have somebody who's done it, because I haven't. But I'm not going to sit there and look a gift horse. Look a gift horse in the mouth? I'm not about to do that. Y'all want to praise Bryce? I'm going to take it. Because with all the negativity, and I keep reiterating it, all the negativity that has been going about Bryce and this team, we are keeping receipts. If you're praising us before we hit there, you're cool in our book. But if you've been doubting us, when we come up, we want that apology. That we do. I know I do. What about y'all? Y'all want that apology? We keeping receipts, right? I think we keeping receipts. But man, huge shout out to Dan Orlovsky. Huge shout out to Jeremy Fowler. And also huge shout out to Damian Woody. Respecting and praising, giving Bryce the respect he deserved. It wasn't too much. It wasn't like they were glazing him to oblivion and thinking he's the best thing since sliced bread because he still has room to grow, and they kept it honest. But they gave credit where credit is due, and that's all I ask. That's honestly all I ask. And then next, following that up, man, got a question for y'all. Is it time to start worrying about Nick Scourton's deal? Is it time to worry? Is it time to worry about that, guys? Because let's be real. Clock is ticking. And Nick still hasn't signed the deal with training camp starting next week. There's already rumors that he might sit out of training camp because of it if a deal has not been reached. Now, I will caveat with this. 29 of the 32 second-round draft picks have not signed their deal. So Nick ain't the only one who hasn't done this. As of today, 29 of the 32 draft picks from the second round of this year's NFL draft have not signed their rookie deal as of the uploading of this video. By the time this video is uploaded, or not even uploaded, by the recording of this video, if something else has happened by the time this video is uploaded, hey, listen, your boy can't be all the way up to date at all times. I'm just saying, man. But because of that, I'm not freaking out as much. It would be different if Nick was only one of two people left who hadn't signed their deal. Then I'd be freaking out. But 29 other players in the second round haven't signed. I think we're okay. I personally would like this deal to be finished by the weekend. That's just me. Preferably by Saturday. Nick, could you do that for me? But I will also say this. I'm glad he hasn't sat out any of the offseason programs as opposed to like Shamar Stewart out in Cincinnati. And I'm not saying Shamar Stewart's a bad person because what they got going on and trying to do to him in Cincinnati is wrong in of itself. So I'm not saying Shamar Stewart's a bad person for sitting out. What I'm saying is I appreciate the fact that for us, Nick has continued to participate in all the workouts and regimens and things that you need to as if he had already signed the deal. He ain't missed a beat. He hasn't missed a stride, and I love that. And also, man to man, respecting wise, I believe he's taken his time to ensure that all the legalities and the contract language fits his desire and reads the way he understands it, reads the way that he wants it to be read, and is put into a position of where he's making the most money for himself, but also the most reasonable money for the team. And I can't knock a man for that. I respect the man who's taking the time to make sure he's getting paid his dues and getting paid what he's owed. I can't knock a man for that. And lastly, y'all reminded me about this when we spoke about it, I want to say about a month ago or so, about 2 months ago. Bryce Young didn't sign his contract, his rookie year, until July 21st. Today is July 17th. So this is around the time when that deal usually gets done, right before training camp. So I'm going to go into this with optimism and just say, yep, they'll get a deal done by this weekend. We ain't going to worry. By the time training camp starts next Tuesday, we're going to be rocking, rolling, and we're going to keep pounding and doing what we do. So I ain't even going to worry about that. And then lastly, guys, third thing is, should Carolina make a trade right now and make this trade?
Huh?
So I'm asking you this because Bleacher Report's Matt Holder. I know y'all hate Bleacher Report. I know. But y'all know also the content's kind of slow, so we got to talk about something. But Bleacher Report's Matt Holder published an article where he revealed a list of a trade that each team should consider heading into 2025. So basically, he listed out every team and said, hey, you should consider this move. You should consider this move, so on and so forth. And obviously, the Panthers are on that list, right? So here's what he had to say for Carolina. He said, the Panthers' current tight ends leave something to be desired. While the hope is Ja'Tavion Sanders grows in year 2, he wasn't the same after suffering a neck injury last season, catching just 4 passes for 40 yards in 5 games after getting hurt. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to add someone to the position as an insurance policy at the least.
Huh?
Matt, what? What? Okay. No. And I want to make sure about this before I do it. I want to make sure. Let me make sure. Give me a couple of seconds because I want to make sure before I say what I'm about to say. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yep. All right. No. Matt, what are we talking about here? What are you talking about here? Ja'Tavion Sanders right now is the number 1 while Tommy's out. Then you got Mitchell Evans as his backup. Then you got Dominic Daphne at 3rd string. And Tommy Tremble's not going to be out for like half the year. At most, he's probably missing the first 4 games. Why would Carolina go out of their way to trade for another tight end? That doesn't make sense. Like, this is why I know a lot of y'all feel as though Bleacher Report doesn't even know what they're doing. And Bleacher Report is just BS at this point. Because that genuinely, from a personnel standpoint, doesn't make sense for us. Our tight end room is good. I'm not going to say it's the greatest tight end room, but we have the depth. We have the personnel. We're not injured. Now, if somebody gets injured at training camp, knock on wood, then yeah, okay, maybe you got the right plot twist. You got the right idea and everything. But right now, that would just be wasting an asset. That would be acquiring a contract that we don't need right now. And as we all know, we need more defensive help right now. So going after a tight end, when we could easily go get a safety, another corner, another linebacker, those are the needs. Those are what we need to go after. Hence why I know, sir, that you don't pay attention to the Panthers. God.
Message.
It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. I don't get why. At this point, y'all, I think I should be writing articles at Bleacher Report. At least I'm going to give y'all something honest. I'm going to be a Carolina Panthers fan. I'm going to be something honest. I got the background in writing, so it's, I don't know, man. Help me do that. Let me write some articles for them. But guys, now we're going to pass on to our favorite segment. Time for Panther Nation to speak your truth, baby. I love it when y'all speak your truth. I love it when you leave your comments. I love it when you let me know that you might hate me. And some of you might love me. I don't know, man. But I respect each and every one of y'all. And let's go into it. First comment comes from Big Buddy 843. My man said, we'll win 9 to 10 games. Believe that. I'm with you. I'm with you, my boy. I believe that. I believe that. For sure. For sure. I believe that 1,000%. So I'm with you. I'm with you, big buddy. I'm with you, big buddy. Know what? Big buddy. Never the little one. Next comes from the homie Sherwin Fitz. Says, your voice sounds like Chris Rock. So I actually didn't get that up until I went to college. And that's when I started getting that comment. And it's funny because I started getting that comment. And that's when I also started getting the I look like Ricky Smiley comment. So I find that hilarious. And I even went on to, well, not even on my personal page, Tornado McRae, in case y'all want to know. I do have a short where I did the voiceover for Madagascar, but I did King Julian instead of Marty, Marty is voiced by Chris Rock, and I was going to go back and do the voiceover for Marty as well. So I think that's kind of funny. I think that's funny that you brought it up because it is something that I have already thought of doing in my head because people have said I sound like him. And then lastly comes from Ross Roxy 7184. My man said, I think Jimmy Horn is going to surprise us this year. I'm inclined to believe you. Now, as a receiver or a punt returner, I think you're saying it as a receiver. I think he's going to surprise us as a punt returner. If you know how I put it in my boldest take, I think like 2 episodes ago, I think he's going to surprise us as a punt returner, and he's going to be a phenomenal punt returner, like one of the best in the league. But I can see what you're saying is he's going to be a surprise in the receiving corps, and people ain't going to be paying attention to him, and he's just going to start going off, and he's going to be great. So I get you. I get it. 100%, my boy. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell at the bottom so you can always be reminded and notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know. 1, how do you feel about Get Up giving Bryce the praise? Do you agree with what they said? Are you mad at what they said? Anything in between? 2, are you starting to be concerned with the fact that Nick Scourton has not signed his deal yet? Or are you kind of like me and just being like, you know what, we're still in a good spot as long as it gets signed this week? And 3, do you think Carolina should trade for a tight end right now? Let me know in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.